Okay, y'all, it's time for a boat tour. I'm trying not to trip all of these things. I figure we'll start outside. There's not a lot to show because it's a fairly small boat, but yeah, let's see. Here she is, featuring Neno, the goodest boy. She is an OE32, built in 1973, and I bought her when I was 20 years old, which was 8 years ago, and I spent 5 years completely renovating her. When I bought her, I sailed her from Söderköping to Nynäshamn, the first trip, and then I put her up on the hard in Nynäshamn for 3 years and renovated her, and I stripped her down and repainted the entire boat. So it's now, well, let's say 2018, and I'm in the water for the first time, and I sailed her up to Stockholm, and I got completely new mooring lines for my new spot, and they were so new that they were slippery. So the first real wind, and I wasn't living at the boat at this time, so I wasn't on the boat, but the first real wind, those lines slipped a little bit, got a little longer, and this happened. So I didn't have the bowsprit, which means I didn't have the, what is that called, like the dolphin cutter, dolphin catcher, dolphin something, water stay, and then this, oh, super zoomed in, this happened. When the boat was completely freshly painted, everything was just sparkling and shiny, and then I got that one. But yeah, I persevered. I don't know what parts you find interesting, but I've got two big anchors. In the front I've got a delta, and in the back I've got a brose. Let's go on the boat, and I'll show you around. Oh, what you saw there was my crow. Hey. I'm friends with the local crows, I'm cool like that. Okay, let's hop on board. I'm gonna try to dig out some pictures and videos of what the boat looked like when I got her. But it's easy to say that it's easier to like point at things that I have fixed or changed than it is to point at things that I haven't. But let's start in the front. This bowsprit is new. I've got a completely manual windlass, which I curse at every time I use it because it's manual. At the same time, so many of my friends are throwing out their super rusty windlass motors, and then every time I see that, I'm really happy I've got a manual one. I've got a cutter stay and the furler and a brand new Genoa because the old one broke back in Madeira. Another cool quirky thing is that my mast is stainless steel. It is actually an old sewer pipe that someone fitted into a rig, and I love it. I made this Dodger a few years ago, and I only kind of needed it to last for a year or two, so I picked out really cheap materials, and it has lasted me, but now it is completely wrecked. So I'm gonna have to make a new one for myself. Got a wind vane, of course. This one is Neptune, it's called. Sporting a 400 watt solar panel on the panel arch, and then I've got two panels that are 120 each on the sides, but they're two completely different systems. The big one, well, I'll show you when we get inside. I'll show you. Alright, let's bring this inside. This is Neno's favorite spot, as I'm sure you've already noticed in the videos. Let's go inside. Here she is. I've actually not cleaned up that much because I thought I would keep it realistic. Yeah, let's go inside. I started at the nav table at this stunning chart that my friend painted for me. Electronics. Quarter berth is just what quarter berths tend to be, filled with sails and stuff. Let's start the inside with where Neno has his bowls. They're attached and like spill-proof. And a little bit elevated for, you know, ergonomic reasons. And the galley will be a lot prettier soon. It's a whole, that's gonna be its own episode, I think. So let's just like keep in mind that it's gonna get prettier, and I will explain why and how in another episode. This one is actually a sofa like the other side, but I keep it down because I like this space more, and Neno does too. What I was gonna say is that this is where I sleep when I'm sailing, and then I have a canvas that I put up here, and I make it more into a bed, but it folds up, and then underneath here there's a sofa that matches the other side, but I usually spend a lot of time just sitting. I mean, this is more like a lounge space, so I prefer this, and it gives Neno a very good spot to hang out. My wall of memories. All of Neno's toys. Another fun thing might be that I've got a composting toilet. Fairly uncommon, I'd say. I love it. Would not trade it. This is where I sleep. It is not usually this crowded with stuff, but it's winter harbor for me right now, which means renovations, which means, yeah, that stuff is hanging out where it's not supposed to be. I think I could probably spend hours and hours and hours telling you all the things that I've done with this boat, but I think I might just like add in some clips, because I've got lots of clips. If someone wants to nerd out, I've got at least the last, I think maybe last 3 years of the renovation on my Instagram in highlights. So if you go to my Instagram, it's the same name as my YouTube handle. You can check the highlights. They're all called Citra, and they're numbered like 1 out of, I don't know, 7, 2 out of 7. And then you can use nerd out if you want to. Because I didn't do the Instagram stories from the beginning, but I did it, and I could think it was the last 3 years. Yeah, let's see what other fun things I have to show you. Okay, so one cool thing I think you'll like is that I ripped out my diesel engine and replaced it with an electric one. I don't know if I've mentioned that. Yeah, I must have. Have I? I don't know. Yeah, I will show you. This is my engine room. It's just a bunch of cables and batteries, and at the back here is the little engine. If anyone wants to know the exact make and model, it's Moat Energy ME1616. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I've got, let's see, oh, and no one got murdered there. It's I did like a plastic thing, and I marked it out with a red marker and the epoxy just melted off the red, and it kind of cured gruesomely, and I love it. Anyways, if you had asked me this like 3 years ago, I could have given you all the facts about the motor and the batteries and stuff, but it has worked so well that I have actually not had to do anything with it, which also means that I'm kind of forgetting details about it. But I think it's like 14.5 kilowatts, and the battery bank I think is like 180 amp hours on 48 volts. And that's what I was gonna say about my solar panels. I have the big one on this big panel arch, and it can charge the motor. If it's sunny, it takes like 3 days for it to charge. And I can also use it because that big one really doesn't like to be like inactive. It wants to work all the time. So I always have it on something. Right, but I have a separate bank for like all of the, like the house bank, the house battery, is a 12 volt. And then I use that one for the house unless I need it for the motor. And then I switch it between, and then I have the 2 panels on the side. They can also charge the house when I use the big panel to charge the motor, and when I'm not using them to charge the house battery, I use them to charge my dinghy battery because my dinghy is also electric. And the setup kind of looks like this. So you can see the big panel is connected up here. Right now it's not really doing anything because it's winter and like 5 o'clock. So yeah, that's the one. And then I have another one down here, ta-da, which is charging the dinghy battery. Then I just kind of switch them between whatever it's supposed to charge, and then I kind of, well, you have to rechange the settings for the panel regulator, but it's really easy to do it with these ones. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And let me tell you, building the platform to hold all of these batteries, I have 552 kilos of batteries just for the motor, and making space for them, my god, that was a gruesome summer, let me tell you. It. Like I said, small boat, small tour. But yeah, I will definitely add in some more clips of like me doing all of these things, which I think might be a little bit more fun. Sorry about that noise. It is Neno eating a bone. I hope this boat tour was satisfying. As satisfying as this bone is to Neno. I don't really know what to show off because it's my home and it's also very small. So it feels like here it is. There you go. But yeah, if you keep following along, I'm sure you will see a lot of more little nooks and crannies as I tear things out and things break and I repair things, and you know, boat life. Yeah, I hope this was satisfying. Thanks for watching.
Jag filmar.